Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee and Chat with Hallee Bridgeman. I'm so happy you could join me. I have my cup of coffee, so I hope you have a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink and you have a few minutes while we chat. Isn't this cup cool? It's the Ark. Noah's Ark. Greg got this for me at the either the Ark Encounter or the Creation Museum. I can't remember, here in Kentucky. So I'm coming to you from my home office in Kentucky. I forgot to say that. This morning I put out on social media that I needed inspiration for my Monday morning coffee and chats, and put the link up for the where you ask the question. It's a Google form to ask question. And I said anyone who asks a question is entered to win an autographed paperback of your choice. And I don't care where you live. I ship internationally. So I got a immediate onslaught of really great questions, and I want you to know that you can do that too. The link is on the sidebar of my website, halleebridgeman.com, or if you find me anywhere on social media, I put that out there this morning. So the giveaway will run until next Sunday night at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. So if you have a question, or want to come up with a question to do a giveaway, to be part of the giveaway, have at it. So have fun. So one of the questions I got this morning right away was, what am I working on right now? And so, okay, so I have the Dixon Brothers series, and a couple of years ago, Amanda True asked me to write a book for the Crossroads collection, for the very first Crossroads collection, which was the Out of the Blue bouquet. I think I have that. Yeah, I do. So this was the Crossroads collection, and this was all about misdelivered flowers, and the book that tied, the Crossroads books always have a book that ties all the books together. And the book that tied everything together was The Florist, who had misdelivered all of the flowers. And so I was in the middle of plotting out my Dixon Brothers series. And so I wrote Courting Calla, which is, it's kind of small. It's a novella. And it was just a way to introduce 9 chapters. It was just a way to introduce the series, the characters, to start building the world. And so this is book 1 of the Dixon Brothers series, and it's not important to know what happens in this book. It's not like originally this was going to be the first book in the series, but this was just a novella that I wrote to introduce the series. So this is the Dixon Brothers series, which is 3 triplet brothers, identical triplet brothers. Each one have their own book. And they own a contracting company that's a huge contracting company in Atlanta, Georgia. And the first book was Brad Dixon, and his love interest was Valerie Flynn. And the next book that I'm working on is the second brother, who is Jonathan. And his love interest is Alexandra, but I don't have her last name yet. And so here's the bookmark, and this is the cover for Alex's book. It's called Alex's Appeal. And so the blurb is, John very quickly falls in love with Alex's zest for life and her perspective of the world around her. He steps off his path to be with her. When forces move against them and rip them apart, he wants to believe God will bring them back together, but it might take a miracle. So that's the blurb for it. And basically what it is in Valerie's verdict, you meet John, and John is very broken and drinking a lot and kind of isolating himself away from a loving family, because he has experienced something that has broken him. And he doesn't know how to reconcile that with the loving God that he was raised to believe in. And Alex is from an incredibly wealthy family and is Jewish, and has to go with her cousin to her father's ranch in Tennessee from New York. They live in New York, to hide from the press, because her cousin, who is, this paparazzi player, she plays with the paparazzi all the time. She's done something publicly humiliating. And so she is sent to like babysit her cousin in Tennessee. Her father thinks that sending them down there will keep her out of trouble. And that's the chapter 1 setup. And the two, Alex and John, meet in a bar outside of Nashville, Tennessee. And then there's a morning after. And so that's their setup. John starts off the book broken, and he has to come back to trust and love God again after the things that he's witnessed. And in the meantime, Alex has to learn to come to know Yeshua, Jesus, as the true Messiah. And so that's what I'm working on. And I'm finding it a little bit difficult only because I'm just not quite sure how it is that she acknowledges Yeshua as Messiah. And so I have several friends who are Messianic Jews, and I have been interviewing them to discover what it is that was what made them believe. And they've all had exactly the same answer. And so I'm really excited to like dig into it and try to find a way to work it into my character. And I want it to be what she does on her own away from John. And so I have it where she walks into unknowingly a Messianic synagogue instead of a traditional Orthodox synagogue, and then hears what it is that my interviewees have proclaimed to me was what resonated with them to believe that Yeshua is Messiah. And last weekend, I had the privilege of being interviewed on a radio in Birmingham, Alabama by a Messianic rabbi. And so before the program, I was talking to him about the story, and I mistakenly used the words, she converts from Judaism into Christianity. And he corrected me and said that Christians are the ones who are the converts, that Gentiles are the ones who are the converts, that Judaism she is simply going further into like the true nature of what Christ put on the earth and fulfilling, all of the Old Testament prophecies and coming as the Messiah to the Jews. And so I no longer will use the term converted, because that was absolutely wrong. And I completely understood what he was saying. And I was just casually using a word that didn't apply. And so, so that's what I'm working on. And for those of you who don't know this about Greg and I, our family are Messianic Christians. So we are not Jewish. Our families are not Jewish. We are Gentile believers in a Jewish faith that worships and believes that Yeshua, Jesus Christ, is the Messiah. And so while we were raised in a Christian homes, or I was Southern Baptist, he was First Church of God, our family embraced a Messianic faith instead of a traditional Protestant American Christian faith. And so this is why this book is really special to me, because, and it's the second time I've done it. I did it with Grace's Ground War in the Virtues and Valor series. Grace is Jewish Christian, and her father was a French World War I vet who befriended a Jewish soldier and like best friends, like brothers. And when he died, the Frenchman went to the home in Hebron. At the time it wasn't Israel, but in Hebron, and just went to go love on that man's family because he had fallen in love with his brother in arms. And in his time spent there, fell in love with the sister and married her, and that family came to know Yeshua as their Messiah. And so Grace was raised in the Middle East as a Christian Jew. And so it's not the first time I've done it, but it's the first time I've done it contemporary, and it's the first time that I will have like the salvation happen. And so I'm really excited to write it, and I'm excited that I have Messianic friends who will beta read it for me because it's something that I would never place out there without having it beta tested first. And it's like I did with Valerie's Verdict. You know, Valerie is a black woman, Brad is a white man, and so I had friends who are black women married to white men read for me before I released it even to my beta readers, because I wanted to make sure that I had done the internal thoughts and dialogue of my character Valerie properly, because I don't have her experiences, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't project anything or assume anything or do something wrong. And so I'm I don't know what it is about this series. It's like I'm digging deep and pulling deep, and it's been an amazing and brilliant process so far. And so I'm really looking forward to finishing. I'm halfway through, and the story is like, but what I've done is like I have her walk into the synagogue, and then I'm stopped, and then I'm a month later picking up the story again, because I really need this month to be really rich, and I'm not ready to write that yet. And so it's still kind of stewing. And so for the first time in my writing life, I've skipped and will come back to that and then thread it through. So, because what I also have not done is, like I said, John starts the book broken, and a month, after this month is over here, John is back to a faith. And so I haven't fixed him yet either. And so I have like this chunk of time. It's going to obviously be several chapters that I haven't written yet. But as far as like the romantic plot line goes, that is about halfway through. So anyway, it's going to be a really good book when it's done. And that's what I'm working on. So y'all have a great week. And I will see you next Monday. God bless you.